The Miami Dolphins are facing crucial decisions about their injured players, and the clock is ticking. Among the players in question is rookie safety Patrick McMorris, whose practice window has officially closed. This means the team must now decide whether to activate him to the 53-man roster or leave him on injured reserve for the rest of the season. It's a decision that could impact not only McMorris's development but also the team's depth in the secondary. McMorris, a sixth-round draft pick, entered the league with potential, and while he's been sidelined by a calf injury, his return could bring much-needed support. Still, there are risks involved. Rushing a rookie back into the lineup could lead to setbacks, both for his recovery and his readiness to contribute at an NFL level. On the other hand, choosing to keep him on injured reserve would mean losing the chance to see what he can offer this season. The Dolphins find themselves weighing the long-term potential against the immediate needs of the team. Isaiah Wynn is another player who finds himself in limbo. While his practice window is still open for another week, the decision looming over his status feels just as urgent. Wynn, a key piece of the offensive line early in the season, has been working his way back from injury and looks closer to a return. Offensive line depth is critical, especially as the season grinds on and the stakes get higher. With the Dolphins fighting to maintain their edge, having someone like Wynn available could make a significant difference. Head coach Mike McDaniel hasn't ruled out the possibility of activating either player in time for Sunday's game against the Patriots, but he's made it clear that it's more likely to happen next week. This cautious approach isn't without its challenges, particularly with a condensed schedule ahead. After facing the Patriots, the Dolphins have a quick turnaround for a Thanksgiving night matchup with the Packers. Decisions made now will have a direct impact on how the team navigates this demanding stretch. The situation becomes even more complex when you consider the other players eligible to return. Bradley Chubb and Cameron Goode, both currently on the PUP list, haven't yet begun practicing but are technically available to return. Chubb, in particular, could be a game-changer for the defense. His ability to disrupt opposing offenses is well documented, and his presence on the field could elevate the entire unit. Still, there's no word yet on when, or if, he'll be activated. Tyler Snoop Huntley is another name worth watching. The quarterback, who's been on injured reserve, provides depth at a critical position. While he's not expected to take over anytime soon, having a reliable backup in place is essential in a league where injuries can strike at any moment. Whether Huntley will be ready to return or if the Dolphins will move on without him is a question that remains unanswered. Blake Ferguson's situation is a bit more immediate. After dealing with a non-football illness, the long snapper is expected to return at some point this season, and that point could be very soon. The timing is crucial because Tucker Addington, who's been filling in, has reached the limit of his practice squad elevations. The Dolphins must now choose whether to activate Ferguson, sign Addington to the active roster, or bring in another option entirely. It's a decision that may seem minor on the surface, but in a game where every detail matters, it's anything but. All of this paints a picture of a team at a crossroads. Injuries have tested the Dolphins throughout the season, and how they manage these situations will go a long way in determining their success moving forward. The choices they make over the next week won't just affect the upcoming games, they'll have a ripple effect on the team's trajectory as they push toward the playoffs. The decisions aren't easy. Should McMorris be activated despite his limited NFL experience? Can Wynn return to the offensive line in time to make a real impact? Will the Dolphins wait on Chubb and Goode, or is their window for a comeback closing fast? And what about Ferguson? These are the questions that linger as the team prepares for what could be the most critical stretch of their season. There's no clear answer, and that's what makes this moment so significant. The Dolphins have to navigate these choices carefully, balancing the need for immediate results with the importance of long-term success. It's a high-wire act, one that requires sharp decision-making and a little bit of luck. With so much on the line, fans can only hope the team gets it right. Patrick McMorris represents a gamble. There's the undeniable excitement about what he might bring to the defense, his instincts, his ability to track the ball, his promise as a young safety who could make a name for himself in the league. But there's also the uncertainty. Has he had enough time to fully recover from his calf injury? Will he be able to transition smoothly into game action after weeks of limited practice? And if not, does activating him now hurt more than it helps? Isaiah Wynn's situation is equally precarious, though the stakes might feel slightly different. His return could shore up an offensive line that's been battered and tested throughout the season. Protecting Tua Tagovailoa has to be a top priority for Miami, especially as the quarterback continues to showcase the kind of elite play that puts the Dolphins in the conversation as one of the league's top teams. But just like McMorris, the question isn't just about whether Wynn can play, it's about whether he can perform at the level the team needs. Bringing him back too soon risks brain injury, which would leave the Dolphins scrambling for answers at a position where depth is already stretched thin.